everybody. You're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, I wanted to take a minute to thank all of you for being here this evening. Years ago, well not even years ago, pretty recently, we had one spring sports banquet, and it just got to be so big. There were 280 people here, and a lot of athletes and teams to try to recognize with track, boys and girls, and golf, and then of course baseball and softball. So we divided it up into 2 different days, and I think it's worked pretty well the past few years. So thank you for coming tonight and being part of the first spring sports banquet of the year. This is always a great time to sort of see the end, I guess, and to recognize our athletes and our teams, and to be able to look back on the season and recognize all the accomplishments, both individually and as programs. And it's a great time to do that, and really just to celebrate. But before we do that, we're going to do what everybody really likes to do when they come here, and that's eat. So here in just a minute, we'll eat. But before we do that, I want to invite Olivia Beckerman up to the microphone. She's going to do tonight's invocation for us. So Olivia, come on up.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this gathering and the food we're about to receive. Thank you, Lord, for the people that prepared this food, and I pray for the protection over everyone tonight on their way home, and our hurt players, and that they may heal. In your Son, Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Olivia. Good job. I'm going to do something that I haven't done before as far as who gets to eat first. I think I don't know exactly how many banquets that I've done over the past 15 years, but I know it's probably in the 80s or 90s, and I've always done it the same way. But I'm going to do it different this time. We're going to allow, after the head table goes up and eats, we're going to allow our students to eat first, followed by parents. Sorry, parents. We're going to allow our students to eat first, and then our parents, okay? So probably doing that a little bit backwards, because you guys probably deserve it more, but we're going to go ahead and put kids first like we usually do. So, without any further ado, students wait for the head table, and then you guys go up, okay? Here we go. First of all, now that we've got our bellies full and we can sit back and start to celebrate our teams and our kids, I wanted to take just a quick opportunity to thank a couple of people. I'll let the coaches do most of the thank yous. But this evening, Jordan Mueller and Sandy Skaggs came in tonight and served you guys the food, and they prepared quite a bit of that as well. So how about a nice round of applause for those 2 ladies? We got the cookies from Country Mart and the brats from Overly's, and the ladies did all the rest, and it was delicious. I also want to take just a second to thank our sports booster officers. We have 5 that donate quite a bit of their time, and they do a lot more than what people realize, and they do it all on a volunteer basis. They don't get paid anything. Those 5 people are Andrea Fritsch, Rob Coleman, Deanne Squires, Amanda Bly, and Christy Fleeman. So a nice round of applause for those 5 people. I want to introduce the people here at the head table, and right after that I'm going to give out some certificates to a few kids who were here this evening. So introducing the baseball side over here, I'll just go all 4 of them in a row. We've got volunteer coach Cody Schwint. We've got new coach this year, Bryson Barnes, to his right. Also new coach this year to his right, Jeremy Mueller, and our head baseball coach, Mike McDaniel. Nice round of applause for our baseball coach. And the softball side, continuing going in to out, we have our head softball coach, Becky Kine, with her 2 assistants, Aaron Stoopy and Michaela Bader. Okay, we'll do 50-50 drawing at the end, as well as the banners, and take some pictures. And before I turn this over to Coach McDaniel to do the baseball portion, I did want to recognize some students that are here this evening. In 2024, things are a little different than what they used to be as far as three-sport athletes are concerned. It's really, really difficult to be a three-sport athlete. When I was in school, it was different. You played baseball during baseball season, you played football during football season, you played basketball during basketball season, and so forth. It's not like that anymore. You have to keep up with the Joneses, you have to keep up with the Joneses. You have to play sometimes year-round, but at the very least 6 to 9 months of whatever sport that it is that you play, just so that you can keep up with the competition. So when you're a two-sport athlete, it's very difficult. When you're a three-sport athlete, it's nearly impossible. But we have a group of students who somehow manage to make it happen, and they do it well. So we have certificates for those baseball and softball players. We'll do the track and golf on Wednesday, but here are our baseball and softball three-sport athletes. You can come up and grab a certificate. Lindley Wiener. Owen Roth. Trayton Weber. Brody Winters. Eli Bennett. Ethan Ottens. Colton Grace. Sawyer Bowman. Ryan Schwint. Aiden Meyer. Adam Oder. And Kennedy Bowen. You guys are amazing. I don't know how you do it, but I'm glad that you do. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Jeremy. He's going to talk. No? I guess no. We're just messing with him. Yes or no, Coach Mueller? There you go. Okay, so Coach Mueller's going to start it out for us. Come on up, Coach.
I'm Jeremy Mueller. Our JV record was 9-3-1. We, for me, my personal most impressive win was probably Festus for us, because that was a full solid 7 innings that the boys fought to the end and earned that one very well. Another thing, the kids kept improving throughout the season. That was a bonus for a lot of them. We had some players that impacted the varsity level, and a lot of them, we had several of them that stepped up into leader roles, and I'm expecting them to do that at the varsity level as well. We feel that we are in a great position for the future for this team, and now I'm going to introduce our JV letters. Sawyer Bowman. Eli Bennett. Colton Brace. Jeremy Dunsey. Connor Dornkamp. Ethan Ottens. William Parker. Kristen Peterson. Owen Ross. Brendan Sexton. Swinker, Trent Weber, Jet Wyrick, Noah Willett, Brody Winters, and Grant Wolf. Not everybody's here, but Major Davey. Thank you.
Sorry, follow. First, I have to say that, I mean, guys, I really didn't know that there were that many of you guys who are three-sport athletes. And like Coach Nick said, I mean, it's kind of a dying breed in high schools, it really is. So, I mean, that's an awesome job, and I'm fantastic to be a part of, like, your three-sport journey and everything. So, thank you guys for, like I said, all your hard work and your effort to make that happen, and parents, the exact same thing, because it's quite a commitment to be able to do that. All right, so fantastic, good job. Now, first, my assistant coaches, let's get our thinkies out of the way here. Jeremy Mueller and Bryson Barnes. So both of these guys stepped up in a big way for me this year. I was a little nervous about getting two new assistants at the exact same time, but that feeling was pretty quickly swept away. These two guys have been eager to learn, and they jumped in head first. These two guys, like I said, I mean, whether it's showing up to things in the off season for, weight room or, open gyms, anything like that, whatever was needed, these guys just jumped right in head first. And heck, I mean, they did a lot of things on their own without me even, prompting or saying anything about. And I definitely appreciate everything they've given, especially in their first year for this program. They're both fantastic men, and they help set a great example for your all sons and everything too. Dr. Nix, for all his hard work, his constant communication, and hard work during the springtime, much like coaching, is a very thankless job, and he does an excellent job and deserves to hear that more than at this banquet. So I definitely thank all of his hard work that he does during the spring especially. All the media outlets for all their coverage, the Herald, KTJJ, KFMO. All the parents of our players are raising the guys that I'll be introducing here shortly. Thank you for all your hard work, patience, and your dedication to your son. Thank you to Brandy Ross for helping keep our guys hydrated and starting that. That's a big task, and I know these guys definitely appreciate that. And thank you to everybody else that helped out as well, whether it was taking pictures, whether it was running the concession stand and getting more drinks to fill that cooler, or whatever it might have been during the course of the year. Everything you do helps make our job much easier and things that we don't have to necessarily worry about. So thank you for helping with some of those things. That, they said, helps us out quite a bit. My parents, Terry and Regina McDaniel, they're supposed to be retired. But judging by the amount of work that they put in the concession stand in the spring and how much they're at the ballpark, you pretty well say it's a full-time job. All your hard work, your support to not just me, but anything St. John related in the school district is truly appreciated. And I'd really be remiss if I did not thank my amazing wife for giving me the opportunity to spend so much time away from her and my beautiful daughters, Mason and Layton. The baseball season is a grind with late nights and an inconsistent schedule. But she does an excellent job of navigating all of that with two young girls and trying to get out to the ballpark as often as possible, even in cold weather, rain, whatever it might be, even a sunburn on our little one, at one point too, just to get out there and be around. It's a pretty cool feeling to look outside the field of play and see them watching and to get a big hug after the game from Mason. I don't think that I knew what being a dad would really truly be like until little moments like that. So all of you guys and parents that have these graduating seniors, those sorts of things really start to resonate whenever you think about all those little moments throughout life. So it's a pretty cool feeling. But Rachel picks up my slack during the spring, and without her love and support, the opportunity I have to be on the field, a place that I love to be, would not be possible. So let's get started on the season then. So last year I stood up here and I talked about the tall task we had of replacing 50% of our offense, 92% of the games started, and 86% of the games that were won by our pitchers from the year before. And that was with a lot of unproven guys on the varsity level. This year was definitely different, and it showed. This season I adopted a new strategy. one that challenged and required our players to own more than the things they did or didn't do on the field. One that required them to find the positive in some situations where it did seem like there might be a positive. After a game, there was always one positive and one takeaway. The takeaway was something that we can improve on for the next game, all right, and how we can make things better. Something that came up several times in the course of this season by the players, not the coaches, but the players, especially after a tight game, was that if this was last season, we wouldn't have won certain games. We would have imploded. So the thing I wanted to see this year was growth. And while yes, there were definitely some moments where we lost our minds, there was a different vibe and a different attitude, and I'm proud of the strides that they have made over the course of not just this year, but the last 3 years especially, to make this season a success. And speaking of success, this season we were 14-10. We won the regular large school conference championship. We finished as the runner-up in our Class 4 District 2 championship game, tied an individual school record, broke an individual school record, broke a team school record, which I'll get to these in a little bit. One of our pitchers threw a no-hitter, actually 2 guys, sorry I left that out, the combined no-hitter. We had 4 players make Missouri High School Baseball Coaches Association Academic All-State, and we qualified as a team for Academic All-State, and we'll have players on the All-Conference and All-District team when they're finally released. So this season started off in a really weird way. When we had a score of, for our first 2 games, a score of 7-7 going into the bottom of the 7th inning. None of the teams scored or anything like that, which sent us into extra innings, only to allow 7 runs in the 8th inning to drop both of them by a score of 14-7. So if that wasn't odd enough, then rolls around our 3rd game, and all of a sudden we lose by the same score of 14-7. So 3 games in a row. So you're thinking, you know what, there's some sort of voodoo magic going on here. Maybe we need to try putting our pants on a different leg at a time or something like that. Then the 4th game rolls around, and it was looking to be almost the exact same score, and we end up finishing that one with a victory of 15-8. So it is super, super close 4 games in a row like that. Counting that game where we won 15-8, we went on a streak of winning 7 out of the next 8 games, and our season started to trend in the right direction. We came away with some fantastic wins toward the middle of the year against teams like Farmington and West County, and we played Valley to a 4-1 game that saw a no-hitter being thrown by both teams all the way until the 7th inning, and both teams ended up coming away with a total of 3 hits, 2 by Valley, 1 by us, all right? And those all came in the 7th inning. At one point, weather didn't even cooperate with us this year, even with the turf field, to get in a pretty important game against Fredericktown. So it had to be played after the conference tournament. We were fortunate to have a preview against them in the conference tournament and came away with a convincing victory of 11-3, but the big game took place on that Monday after the conference tournament, when they would have their best pitcher ready to go. And our guys came to the ballpark ready for a heavyweight, knockdown, drag-out fight that really, you know, I'm not trying to sound cocky when I say this, that ended up looking more like a slow-pitch softball game by the time it was all over, with us winning 15-8 to win the large school conference championship, outscoring them in 2 games 26-11, which meant there was no disputing who the championship team really was. Including our 2 games against Fredericktown, we won 4 out of our final 5 games heading into the district championship game. And if anyone knows about the team we played at Park Hills the past 4 years, they know there's a special player that makes them an entirely different team whenever they have him on the mound. His name is Kason Murphy. And for the past 4 years, we faced him every single year, as many other teams have, without much success to speak of. And just to give you an example, our guys battled, and they battled hard during that game against a guy consistently throwing between 90 to 92 miles an hour and touching 94, all right, as well, with a wipeout slider, which is dang near unhittable. It wasn't necessarily the result we wanted, but I was extremely proud of their efforts to make it a good game for everyone in attendance to watch and make Park Hills actually work to earn a victory. So at this time, that was kind of a synopsis of our season. I'll introduce the players for this year's team. All right, first of all, I'll talk about our manager, Caden. All right, Caden Woody, come on up, Caden. Now, Caden, I think, is pretty brand new to baseball and everything, and our goal next year, all right, if he decides to do this all again, is to educate him exactly on how to keep a scorebook or game changer or something like that, with some guidance. So you guys, we're going to rely on you heavily to help Caden out next year to get that done, all right? Our players, we'll start with our freshmen, and we'll go all the way up to our seniors. Our first one is Owen Roth. this year on the varsity team and one job only. Run, baby. Just run. All right? Early in the year, while working on situational work and like rundowns and practice and stuff, Owen made life miserable for our guys on the base paths because he did the one thing that he does extremely well, and that was utilize his speed to get things done. While it may have frustrated them at the beginning, I think they started to truly embrace his strengths and accepted him as a fellow teammate that could help them in games. All right, Owen Roth. Our next freshman, Noah Willett. Now, what can I say about Noah that we as coaches really haven't told him already? We love watching him play with the passion and enthusiasm that he does on an everyday basis. This kid loves baseball, and it shows in the competitive nature that he brings to the field. There were some frustrating moments and some growing pains for him at times, but his learning curve is much smaller than others his age because of the previous knowledge that he came in with and the thirst for more as he continues to grow. It was genuinely refreshing to have some baseball discussions with someone like him throughout the course of the year. Noah finished the year just shy of hitting 300 for us, was third on the team in runs scored, and tied for second in triples this year. Unfortunately, his season came to a close due to a thumb injury, once again from him going all out, and sliding into third base. And he encountered that with 5 games left to go during the season, so it would have been pretty exciting to know what he might have been able to do in those remaining 5 games. But with his drive to constantly improve, I'm excited to see what he can contribute over the next 3 years. Our next player, sophomore, Sawyer Bowman. What a pleasant surprise this guy is. Sawyer knows how to make the worst out, I'm sorry, the most, not the worst. He kind of looks like a Norwegian supermodel here with that blonde hair and blue eyes, though. Sorry. Sawyer knows how to make the most out of his opportunities. If someone told me he had the 3rd highest amount of innings pitched this year, I'd say you're crazy. If you told me that he had a sub 3.0 ERA and lead the team in whip, I'd probably say you're from another planet. He's not going to blow you away with his heat. But what he will do is keep hitters off balance, he'll throw strikes, and he's going to put his defense to work. He goes about his business, and if something rattles him, you never know because he has the same look about him all the time. You do. His best outing this year was a 6-inning relief appearance against West County, where he only allowed 1 run against a pretty potent offense. And if his pitching wasn't enough, he excelled at the plate during 3 of his varsity games, going 4 for 7, hitting .571, and came into the conference championship game against Fredericktown and delivered 2 big hits and drove in 2 runs in the process. I love Sawyer's carefree vibe that he puts out, but I love the competitiveness that he displays on the field even more. Our next sophomore, Eli Bennett. So Eli's a great guy to have around. He's serious about his sports, but has fun and isn't afraid to let you know how fun it is to be at the field doing something that not everyone gets to do. When others can be a little too serious, he's there to remind everyone that it's a game. It's meant to have fun there. Eli didn't necessarily get a lot of varsity time this year, but he provided us with an option in case that we needed him in the field or on the mound. Watching him, he's made some nice strides since last season and pitched the last couple of innings against Cape Central on senior night. Through his JV time this season and the few innings he received on varsity, he showed some potential to do some good things in the varsity level for us next year, and I hope with some continued work this offseason that he can keep trending upward and have a breakout season on the varsity level. Our next sophomore, Luke Ferranto. So Luke continued to build on his performance from his freshman season. Offensively, he was 3rd on the team in average, hitting .365, 2nd in doubles, 2nd in RBIs, and on the mound is where he really made an impact this season, recording the 2nd most inning pitched, basically almost tying that just by a 1/3 of an inning is all. He led us in games pitched with 10, and earned run average with 2.46, and breaking the school record for wins in a season this year with 9, where his school record for this season was a 9-0 total record. Luke has been at the center of our lineup and anchored the middle of our defense for the past 2 seasons, and has been that guy that looks calm, cool, and collected on the outside, but I feel has a really burning desire and a passion to succeed and compete on the inside. He's a guy you can count on not to let the situation get too big and just remain calm and get the job done. One of the greatest highlights this year was his walk-off hit against Cape Central on senior night to give our seniors time to celebrate. And if that really wasn't something to celebrate, Luke qualified for the Missouri High School Baseball Coaches Association Academic All-State Team this season. Our next sophomore is Ethan Ottens. Well, Ethan had been biding his time in the JV for most of the season, but it's hard to ignore the things that he did during those games and at practice. He loves to go out and play, no matter where he's at on the field. So early into the season, it was evident that we needed to have him have more varsity at-bats. Problem was, for who? And that's tough as a coach, because you have to look at so many factors that many other people don't get to see. Ethan's coming out party was our second game against Fredericktown, where it seemed like when you guys are playing a video game, he was the cheat code. All right? The dude was unstoppable. In a 3-game span, he was 9 for 14. It's a 643 average, with 9 runs scored, 8 RBIs, 2 doubles, and 1 home run. This only helped to solidify why he should be in the lineup. I hate to say luckily, because I'm not wishing any ill will on anybody whatsoever, but the injury to Noah meant that we did not have to hit and force someone. For the season, he finished second in batting average, 370, second in on-base percentage, second in OPS, first in slugging. And truthfully, I love having kids like Ethan on my team, and I cannot wait for the next 2 years with them. Our last sophomore, Justin Schweiger. So, I mean, what a glove. I mean, this guy, I think you could probably put, a milk carton on his hand and he would find a way to make a play. All right, he's that good with his glove. Now, running, maybe not so much, because I made the mistake during one game when I think Brian hit one in the gap, and I thought, dude, Justin's got wheels. Justin can score from first base. I turned to look to see where Bryant was, and in the meantime, out of my peripheral vision, I'm like, did Justin stop? And I think what ended up happening is his feet were trying to go so fast, but his upper body was at a different place than his lower body, and did everything he could not to trip. And at my discretion and everything, I sent him, and he was thrown out by quite a bit and everything, and I apologized to him after, but I said, dude, I thought you were faster than that. I know this season didn't necessarily go the way that he wanted offensively, but I know that that part of his game is going to continue to get better and better by next year. And no matter what happened on offense, his defense is absolutely spectacular. Third base can be a position that's really hard to play. That's why they call it the hot corner. He has a lot of range to his glove hand side. Is able to cut off that 5.5 hole between third base and shortstop, like nobody else that I've seen that I've ever coached in my 17, almost 18 years here. And there's a rumor with one of the teams we play this year who has a turf field that they can use, but they also have a dirt, natural grass field that they can use as well. And rumor has it that they like to play teams on their grass field when the visitor, us, always plays on turf. Well, they obviously didn't bank on having a Justin Schweiger on their team, all right? Because that day, that dude was in fuego. And if you guys don't know, that's an old NBA Jam reference, all right? All right? Some of you other people my age and everything, you get that in fuego, all right? Anyway, ball after ball, he handled like a champ and made it look about as easy as throwing some Easy Mac in the microwave and calling it a meal. I love Justin's competitiveness and his desire to succeed. Although it can get the best of it at times, I know he will put in the work to continue to get better and better and be ready to compete again next season. Our juniors now, which is only a couple. First one, Isaiah Bosler. I wish I had as much energy as Isaiah. My goodness. Holy smokes. He's a fiery dude, and I'm glad he's a catcher because he's a good outfielder, don't get me wrong, but I think he'd be bored in the outfield. He has to be in the action, all right? And he is, every play. And he does an excellent job. I think Isaiah's made some big strides since his freshman year, both defensively and offensively. He sticks his neck out on the line every single play, all right? Whether it's to block a ball, heck, even take it off the neck, whatever it takes, all right, in order to get that thing stopped. And this year, I think his offense took a little bit of an uptick as well. He batted a respectable 272 for us this season. And even having the at-bat of the year, according to a couple of his teammates, where he clearly did not check his swing and went darn near all the way around, but the umpire must not have been paying attention to that particular pitch, and ends up Isaiah, helping us out in a big situation right there. But I'll tell you what, you've never witnessed so much excitement on someone's face as whenever Isaiah got to run. So if you know anything about catchers most of the time have a courtesy runner for them. The only thing that probably compares to seeing as much excitement on his face as seeing a little kid's face on Christmas morning, like getting ready to open like presents and everything. Well, let me tell you, out of his 15 at-bats that hits that he had this year, I think I saw about 7 Christmas mornings out of him is what I saw. He's an awesome kid. Look forward to seeing him back behind the dish next year for more good things. Our last junior, Johnny Bird. So Johnny has a ton of athleticism that I know is just waiting to come out in just the right way. Just kind of like I said this last year, just like cracking a smile. It's okay, I promise. All right? We've seen it. We're just waiting for it to appear even more. It's there, just like the potential that he has for playing the game of baseball. He possesses some tools that below the surface, like just need maybe a little bit of refining, but he has so much potential. He worked hard this offseason to continue getting stronger, and I believe he's successful in doing that. I know I've watched him even after games or after practices doing things by himself, so those things definitely do not go unrecognized or anything. And I know the drive and the desire is there to continue to get better. If he continues to get stronger and lets himself be out with his passion for the game, he can definitely be an asset for us next year. And now to our seniors, Wyatt Kemper. So this guy made some big strides to the plate this year. I could tell there was something different about him in the conversations that we had in the cage, during the off season about hitting. I was curious to see how he would handle adversity, though, this season, especially at the plate, and he exceeded my expectations. Hitting's hard. You guys, like I said, softball players, baseball players, you know that one of the most difficult things to do in sports is hit a ball. So Wyatt started off the year hot, and at one point, maybe just after a handful of games, he looks at me and says, "Hey, Coach, I have as many hits right now as I did all last season." Yeah, you do. And it was awesome. So he cooled off just a little bit toward the middle of the year, but still provided a tough out for opposing pitchers. He finished the year batting respectable 276, third in RBIs, tied for the lead in doubles, and even legged out a triple this year. Wyatt was probably unaware of this, but he actually tied a school record this year for being hit by a pitch 8 times. Now, I was really waiting for him to break the record because he had this record, I bet, like maybe 2/3 of the season, in, and we still had maybe 7 or 8 games left. Like, this dude's got to get hit again. He has to. Not once. Not once. And as our guys are probably giving him a little bit of grief, even though he set, tied the record for that, he might have set a new record for most injuries during the year as well. I'm just giving him grief because, it was like, he may be 18 years old, but those legs are aged well beyond his years. All kidding aside, though, Wyatt played a fantastic first base for us this year, and he really had to show off his nimble side. I think it was during the Valley game by leaping up and making a catch against the fence. And there was another one that he had a chance to before. We're like, dude, why didn't you just climb the fence? You see it. And one of the last games, he made that attempt, and that is it was such an athletic looking play, dude. That was awesome to watch. All right. Wyatt will be attending Mineral College next year to play baseball, and we're definitely going to miss his glove over at first base. All right. Nice job this year, Wyatt. Our next senior, Aiden Meyer. So Aiden contributed to this team this year in the field, at the plate, and on the mound pretty heavily. His offense started off just a little bit slow, but picked it up as the season went on, raising his average about 100 points during the last month of the season. Even though the offense wasn't quite there yet, he gave us a chance every time he went out there on the mound and took on a few of our tougher opponents. His performance weren't necessarily reflected in the win column because we just couldn't produce enough offense to get him that victory. But the numbers were definitely there for him. Against Perryville, he threw 6 innings of no-hit baseball, and then we brought in the Heat at the end, Brian Schwent, to close it out for a combined no-hitter against them. We had to take him out, unfortunately, due to pitch count limitations. He also took a no-hitter into the 7th inning against Valley, which I talked about earlier. He only allowed 1 hit against DeSoto and scattered 4 hits in the district championship game against Park Hills. Overall, Aiden led us in innings pitched, strikeouts, and held opponents to the lowest batting average of any of our pitchers. Offensively, he finished 2nd in OPS, 2nd in slugging, 3rd in hits, tied for lead in doubles, 2nd in triples and walks, and led us in home runs, RBIs, stolen bases, and runs scored. Aiden was also honored with the Missouri High School Baseball Coaches Association Academic All-State Award, and he'll be attending Mississippi Valley State University next year on a baseball and academic scholarship. Our next senior, Mason Nix. You know, Mason's a kid you love having your team because he has only one way of playing, and that's all out. And I think in every sport that he's played, he's had an injury of some sort because, like, you know, I hate to say he doesn't know any better, but I think it's more so because of the passion and true grit that he has and loves, you know, just to be out there and play. Mason's an example of someone that came in his freshman year, was successful in his River Dogs years, but understood that there were changes that needed to be made to experience longer-term success. He hit that challenge head on, and he turned into one of our best hitters over the past 3 years, putting in the work that needed to be done to make it happen. Not only did he understand the work that needed to be done to refine his baseball skills, but he also knew the work that needed to be done in the weight room. This season, he led us in batting average, total hits, triples, while finishing 3rd in on-base percentage, 3rd in OPS, and 3rd in slugging, 3rd in doubles, and 2nd in runs scored. Mason was one of the anchors that we had in our outfield, playing a great right field and finishing the year strong for us on the mound, bouncing back from a not-so-great performance against West County to have 2 stellar outings against Farmington and Fredericktown. Mason is a kid that you definitely hate to see leave your program. Even though he has some great on-field accomplishments, he was also awarded with the Missouri High School Baseball Coaches Association Academic All-State Award this year as well. Mason Nix. Our next senior, Adam Oder. Well, I mean, what can you say about Adam Milton? You're like, dude, this is like an amazing kid, an amazing teammate. I know the season didn't necessarily pan out the way that he would have hoped, but he took it in stride and came to practice each and every day, giving it everything he had, earning the respect of his teammates and coaches all along the way. But I'm not sure what Adam did to Cape Central on senior night, though. So, for whatever reason, they must not have gotten the memo that this is an awesome kid, he's a stand-up dude. Maybe he just looked intimidating in the batter's box. I'm not exactly sure what it was. Whatever the reason was, though, in the 2 plate appearances he had, they pegged him twice. We surely thought the first time was an accident. It couldn't happen again, hoping that he would have an opportunity to hit. Nope. They plunked him again. All right? I don't think this is an out-of-left-field statement, but I take 100 Adam Oders, and I think a lot of his teammates would agree. Adam Oder. Next senior, Bryant Schwint, B. You know, this is the guy that had a lot of fun playing baseball this year. If there was a relief man of the year for our pitching staff, Bryant would be your guy. He pitched in 11 games for us, usually coming in at the end to close everything out. Now you may look at him and think to yourself, that's not a guy I want to face. You're right, you don't. All right? He took his pitching very seriously, and I think if you ask him, he has the nastiest pitches anyone has ever seen. He does. Your slider is filthy, dude. Bryant finished the year with a 2.86 ERA and led us in appearances with those 11 games pitched. Earlier when I talked about Ethan and who we should hit for at one point, the thought came to all the coaches' minds, and so I'm speaking honestly here, about possibly hitting for Bryant. But all, and I mean all of us, said the exact same thing. Man, he puts the ball in play all the time, and he just hits into some terrible luck. All right, hitting the ball to people the entire time. There's no stat for that other than like what we see in games and practices. And it was no surprise to us that those line drives and those bad balls finally got the results that they deserved toward the final stretch of the season, where he accumulated 8 hits during the final 6 games of the season and drove in 5 runs. Brian is an excellent teammate, works his tail off, and he's someone we'll definitely miss on the field and in the dugout next season. Brian was also recognized for his scholastic achievements, being awarded the Missouri High School Baseball Coaches Association Academic All-State Award this season. Brian Schwint. And our last senior, G. Grant Williams. You know, I love the fire out of Grant. I love it. I absolutely do. And, I mean, his efforts to not only be like a great teammate, but to encourage others as well. And I think that's just a testament to how he's been raised and everything, and just, you know, what I see and everything, being just a good guy. I know he didn't have the season he wanted to offensively, but dude, I mean, his defense made up for it. Grant was determined to be out on that field by any means necessary. And I'm not sure during my 17 years as a coach if I've watched someone make so many diving or sliding plays during my career. You see those sorts of things about him in other players, like in practice and stuff, and you're like, you know what, how many times are you actually going to see that in a game? Well, Grant found about 10 or so times this year to show off his defensive prowess. And these weren't plays that he sandbagged on just so he could dive. You guys all know those players and everything, all right? This is a guy that made legit hard plays, all right, in order to get guys out and sold his body out. Grant will be a tough one to replace next year at second base and a tough guy to replace overall. I don't think I've ever had to question Grant's desire to play the game of baseball or take anything for granted. He truly leaves everything out on the field, and he'll be somebody that we'll definitely miss next season. Grant Williams. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your 2024 St. Joe Dragons baseball team. It was an awesome thing to watch these guys play this season in the progress that our seniors made over the last 4 years. If I have any last remarks, it's to make the most of your opportunities because before you know it, in the blink of an eye, those opportunities dry up, and this ends up being the last banquet of your high school career. Continue to work, continue to grind, and continue to care about the guy next to you. Without him, you're fighting a battle alone. With him, you have a partner, someone you can take into battle with you that has your back and fights for the same common goal and passion that you have, and that's to play the game of baseball. All right, I am going to give out some awards, but ladies and gentlemen, this is your 2024 Baseball Dragons. So here are our awards this year. Our first one is called the Dirty Uniform Award. This is typically somebody that at the end of the game, you probably feel sorry for their mother, unless their mother has taught them how to wash their uniform, because it is the dirtiest one. It's the sweatiest one and everything like that. And this year, the guy that I feel that puts on what I call the tools of ignorance, because sometimes I just feel like you got to have a couple screws loose, you know, upstairs to want to get back behind the plate and catch everything and block everything and just have this object thrown at you and everything. All right, this year's recipient is Isaiah Bosler. And I did forget to mention, too, these were voted on by their peers, their players and everything, their fellow teammates. Our next award is the Defensive Player of the Year. And let me tell you, this is a tough one because there were a couple people that were very deserving for it. However, we felt this person was a lockdown defender in a position that requires a sense of fearlessness that isn't an easy place to play. And we've talked about it already, it's called the hot corner. This year's recipient is a repeat from last year, Justin Schweiger. Our Pitcher of the Year this year, there are two guys that will be sharing the award. Unfortunately, only one of you gets to take home a plaque because there was an error on the other one. Your co-pitchers of the year were two guys that combined to pitch some of our biggest games, and we relied on pretty heavily. Those two guys are Luke Ferranto and Aiden Meyer. Next, our Offensive Player of the Year. The recipient of this award was someone who led us in many categories and was near the top in several more. It's also a guy that we put at the top of the lineup because we felt like we needed to get him the most at-bats to get to the rest of the guys that were after him. This year's Offensive Player of the Year is Mason Nix. This year's MVP, the guy who earned this award is someone who is a very balanced player, contributes in so many ways to our team, both offensively, defensively, and in the field. He's worked extremely hard during his high school career to get the most out of his body, and it definitely showed. This year's MVP is Mason Nix. Now, last but definitely not least, we have a new award this year. This has been something that I've thought about for quite some time, and I feel this year is the perfect year to start it. So the other day I was watching a Major League Baseball game, and they were talking about, the announcers were talking about the Roberto Clemente Award. And Roberto Clemente is one of my favorite ball players. Just a guy that played with, reckless abandon out there. But the Roberto Clemente Award is defined by, is bestowed annually to a player who best represents the game of baseball through extraordinary character, community involvement, philanthropy, and positive contributions both on and off the field. Now, while some of that may not apply to us at the high school level, I believe that the overall meaning of this award is what is important. And that's someone that is just, well, awesome and respected. My biggest thing was, what do I want to call this award? And it really didn't take me very long to figure it out. I need to give a little background information for you guys. During my first couple of years of coaching, we were in a pretty difficult game, late in the game. And heck, I think it may have been against Valley. All right, I'm getting older, I forget things now. I needed to make a pitching change. I needed to make a pitching change or something, and I had to put someone in at second base. I was a senior on my team that had been a part of the program for 4 years. 2 of those were before I actually took over. And I didn't choose to put him in the game. But instead, I reached for a sophomore. Now, naturally, that senior surely probably had every right to feel slighted or that I made a mistake as a coach. However, instead of pouting or making a scene, that senior marched right over to that sophomore and pumped him up, letting him know that he deserved to be out there and that he was a good player and he was ready for that very situation. That's the type of guy he was then, and that's the type of guy he is now. My last award is called the Cody Award. This is named after one of the best dudes I know, and is everything that St. Genevieve R2 School District embodies. I know I'm putting him on the spot, and I apologize to him. But I believe in giving credit where credit is due, and Cody Schwint deserves to have this award named after him, and to hand out the inaugural recipient. Someone who comes in and day out, works hard, is an amazing teammate, never thinks that he is above anything. I can't tell you how many foul balls I saw this senior go into the parking lot and in the woods to go retrieve for the team. He does whatever is asked of him. He is just an amazing kid to be around and to talk to. The inaugural recipient of the Cody Award this year is Adam Oder.
For these allergies suck. All right, thanks, Coach, and St. Gen baseball, great season. Congratulations on all your team and individual accomplishments this season. So we're going to turn it over to softball at this time, and the moment that everyone's been waiting for, Coach Stupi is going to step to the podium now.
Spot here again. I just want to first thank a couple people here. Very blessed to be part of this softball team the last couple of years now. First, I want to thank the girls. I know they could be a little, just not girl power, but I thank them for their patience over the years. There's a lot of cancellation, shortened games, and things that just put you in a hard spot. it is what it is. So I want to thank them. I also want to thank the parents for all their efforts get the girls to and from practices day in, day out. Thank Dr. Nix here for his determination to schedule games, reschedule games, and just try to find us anything we can with games because it's very hard. There's a fall and spring sport. Most teams only carry about 12 girls total. We're lucky enough to have several handfuls, and trying to find a game for them is hard to do. Also want to thank my coaching staff here, Coach Kime and Coach Bader, for all their work and helping putting the girls together. Lastly, I want to give a big thank you to my wife that allows me to do what I love to do, so thank you to all. The girls finished a not so great record showing season of 2-5, but with that being said, we played a lot of varsity caliber teams. Like I said, they carry 12 girls. That means 4 will be sitting the bench, will be playing varsity. That means 5 will be varsity starters. So, like I said, our record isn't shown up, but we played very hard competition. A few of the games that we have gone through, full 7 innings, it may have been a little different, but once again, it is what it is. Going into a couple of different things here. A lot of effort and dedication goes into preparing for a sport. Like we talked about before, 3 sports is very tough. Because you talk about softball being in the spring, what's before it? Basketball, cheerleading, trying to get those girls in workouts, in hitting, pitching, different things is very hard to do. So I congratulate to those boys and girls for both getting 3-peats and so forth. This is a very weird sport for some of them because this is the first time that they may be playing together. I know there's a Fury League starting up, so it's really good to have some of these girls, but some of them just come from different leagues or just not played at all. Like you probably heard before, there's no I in team, and that's really true. Lastly, all the girls came to practice ready to learn new skills and philosophy. All right, this time I'm going to introduce each member of our softball team that made this such an amazing year. Starting off first, we have Lily Crossland. Lily was one of our many swing players here for the JV, but she also got a little bit of time on varsity. During her time on JV, she had 15 plate appearances. Her batting average was a .467, which included 7 hits, which of those were 2 doubles, 6 RBIs, and 1 run scored. She was able to advance herself with a stealing 1 base, and on defense-wise, Lily found herself most of the time in the outfield, but she was also referred to as a more utility player, finding herself sometimes in the infield when I needed her. With her hard work and dedication all season, I see her finding more time on the varsity level next year. Lily Crossland. Next, Grace Bird. Once again, Grace is one of our swing players and seen some time even on the varsity level. She definitely won the most smiling award this year, I would say, if that was the actual award. You'd rarely see her without one. Grace had 10 plate appearances with 8 at-bats this year. Her batting average was a .250, which included 2 hits, 1 RBI, 2 runs scored, 1 walk, and 1 hit by a pitch. On defense-wise, she fought most of the time at shortstop, but rarely did I ever find her as a pitcher. One day in our Potosi game, it was like, you pitch? Oh yeah, I guess you do pitch, don't you? Hey, here you go, go in and pitch. And you won't believe it looked like somebody who could come in and really start a varsity game. I mean, she did just an amazing job that game. Hopefully Grace will continue to work on her pitching skills this off-season, along with improving her defense skills. And I really think that she'll be a wrecking player next season. Grace Bird. Lily Weiner. Lily was also one of our swing players, sometimes called Lily and Lily, sometimes without names, so I apologize. With Lily here, this is our 2nd season here in the JV player, so I was really looking up for her to kind of show some leadership with other younger ladies. Lindley had 17 plate appearances with 15 at-bats. Her batting average is .333, which included 5 hits, one of those being a double, 3 RBIs, 8 runs scored, 2 walks, and 2 bases stolen. I'm sure Lindley, and also Bree here, will find their time together working on their softball skills. I look forward to seeing her on the field next season. Lindley Wiener. Next, Bree Fall. Bree was once again also another swing player we had and did get to see a lot of time there on the varsity level late in the season. Since this was also her second season, I'll also look for her, along with Lindley, to show some of that leadership. On offense, Bree had 17 plate appearances with 14 at-bats. She ended the season with a .571, which included 8 hits, one of them being a home run, 5 RBIs, 8 runs scored, 2 walks, 1 hit by pitch, and also 1 stolen base. Bree was once again another utility player I had. She played outfield, she could play first base, second base, shortstop, pretty much anywhere I really needed her to be, she could go there. I guarantee if I said, hey, can you put on the catching gear behind the plate? I guarantee I could probably convince her to get behind the plate and maybe catch an error, so you just never know. Like I said before, Lindley and Bree, I guarantee will work together this off season, along with Bree working with her dad. I'm sure some pitching skills to help her improve in the seasons to come. Bree Fall. Next up, Bella Watkins. Bella was once again another JV swing player for us. On offense, Bella had 15 plate appearances with 12 at-bats. She ended the year with a .500 batting average, which included 6 hits, 2 of those being doubles and 1 actually a home run. 7 RBIs, 6 runs scored, and 2 walks. On defense side, Bella found most of her time behind the plate, and in the future, I hope Bella will continue to work on her skills this summer, and I look forward to seeing her next year on the field. Bella Watkins. Olivia Beckerman. Olivia, once again, like many others here, are also a swing player for varsity and JV. She had 17 plate appearances, 16 at-bats. Olivia ended the season with a .312 batting average, which included 5 hits, 1 double, and 2 triples. She ended with having 7 RBIs, 8 runs scored, 1 hit by pitch, and 1 stolen base. On defense side, she mainly found herself playing first base. I'm sure in the future here, when she works in the off-season playing for her summer league, she'll get better, and I think she'll really improve next season. Olivia Beckerman. Our last one here tonight is Kennedy Bowen. Kennedy was, once again, among all these ladies here, a swing player. Kennedy always had a funny and humor. She was one to be around on the field and off the field. At bat here, she had 15 plate appearances, 14 at bats with an average of .286, included 4 hits, 3 RBIs, 1 run scored, 1 walk, and 1 stolen base. Hopefully, Kennedy will continue to work on her softball skills off season. I look forward to having her on the field next season. Kennedy Bowen.
Just for a little background information, with JV softball in the spring, it's different than, and the softball parents know this, but it's different than a typical JV situation. There's only a small percentage of schools in Missouri that play in the spring, and it's mostly the smaller schools in the southern half of the state. So a lot of the teams that we play don't have a true JV team. We end up playing just 3 or 4 innings after the varsity game. And the players that play in that game, you know, we have a lot that swing between JV and varsity, but those other teams that we play may only have 3 extra players.
that have all varsity players sprinkled in. So these girls did a really great job playing against mostly varsity players. So just a little background information for you. I'll start with my thank yous. Dr. Nix, Dr. Boyd, Mr. Schnabel. Your support makes our job as coaches so much easier. When sending emails and text messages all times of the day, you just make life much easier, and we get to coach and do what we love. So thank you so much. To my husband Brian and Cooper Time. Yeah. He's playing t-ball right now. I'm getting updates. There's so much time that goes into coaching and what we do day in, day out during the season. And your spouse has to be a very patient person to be able to get through the season alive. But I'm so grateful that they're patient and they're willing to share me with this group of wonderful girls. So thank you to both of them. And then my assistants, Coach Stupi and Coach Bader. I think each year that we work together, I think we get to know each other a little bit better and things go a little bit smoother. I probably still drive them crazy, but I really enjoy working with both of you. And then we had a volunteer assistant this year, Brittany Kreitler. She couldn't make it tonight, but I just want to thank her for volunteering her time. Every year I tell the graduating seniors to give back to the game, and I'm really thankful that Brittany decided to do that for this group of girls. She made a really positive impact on the program, and I think the girls really loved having her around. Next, I want to thank parents. My job is so much easier because of the group of girls that I get to coach, and I think it's a real testament to how you guys raise them. And now that I have a 5-year-old, how much work goes into it. So I want to thank you for that and all of the hard work you've done to get them to this point. I want to thank you and recognize you for the invaluable support that you bring to this program. You guys aren't just spectators to me. You're part of what makes this program work, and your generosity, kindness, and willingness to lend a hand is more appreciated than I can ever express, so thank you so much. Couple special thank yous, Carrie and Deidre for the concession stands, for the sign-up genius, for just being my go-to people all the time. Keith for taking pictures at pretty much every game. Those are awesome memories for the girls. Deidre and Larry for the Sam's runs all the time. I appreciate that. Makes my job so much easier. All the concession stand workers, and then also our 8th grade managers. So a little bit about the season. I came into the season with a pretty good idea of the kind of talent that we had and where I thought we could end up. We lost 5 seniors last year, but we had 5 girls and kids with good varsity experience that I thought could easily step in and kind of fill those shoes. But the beginning of the season didn't really start out how I expected it to. First off, it was constantly battling injuries. This is my 3rd season, and I think this is the most injuries that we've had thus far. But on top of that, I didn't really feel like things were clicking the way I anticipated them to, or the way that I wanted them to. So I kind of spent the first couple weeks scratching my head trying to figure out what I was missing. This is a part of coaching that a lot of people don't know or don't understand, and I don't know if I really realized it early in my coaching career either, but I've come to learn that every team kind of has its own personality, and as a coach, it's not just your job to teach the fundamentals and teach the game, but it's also your job to figure out that personality and figure out what kind of makes that team tick and what makes them excel. So the frustration at the beginning of the season was mostly on defense. The mistakes that we were making were routine, building them up a little bit and getting them to believe in themselves for things to really start clicking. So we finished the season 16-1. We were back-to-back NAAA regular season champions. We hadn't done it in 27 years, and you guys have done it back-to-back, which is pretty impressive. And then we were the NAAA conference tournament champions. We had 3-10 as a team, and in the last regular season Missouri Fast Pitch Coaches Association poll, we were ranked number 4 in the state. This wasn't a record-breaking season like we had last season, but I'm pretty sure we got close to breaking the hit by pitch record. As a team, we were hit 44 times.
Oh my gosh.
Anybody still have a bruise? So I wholeheartedly believe that this team had the talent to be in this year's state tournament. You know, we were texting earlier about the results from the first day of the state tournament, and the girls were like, "This makes me so mad." And I just told them, I said, let that use that as ammo and as fire for next year. But I think what makes athletics and sports so wonderful is in the face of loss, sports reveal other life lessons. And the way that our season ended this year is no different. Failure teaches us to be resilient. It teaches us humility and the importance of perseverance. Failure teaches us that sometimes things are beyond our control. No matter how diligently we've planned and practiced or how hard we worked, it's just not enough. When that happens, you have two options. You can either settle and be complacent, or you can use it to ignite a fire. Based on the conversations that I've had with the girls over the last 2 weeks, I'm really excited to see what that fire looks like next season. In the meantime, I think our greatest lesson that we can take away from this season is something that Dr. Taylor said in his commencement speech on Saturday night. He said, hopefully you've learned that the journey may be more important than the destination. Winning is great, but the relationships that you've built this year is what matters most, and as your coach, that's what I'm most proud of. So now I'm going to talk about each of the players. I'm going to start with seniors. The first one I want to talk about is Anna Bennett. She was one of our major contributors. Anna, you were an indispensable part of the team this season. You helped us manage the day-to-day operations, and you did it with such enthusiasm. Your constant presence and willingness to support the players made you a true asset. You were always ready with a word of encouragement or a joke to lift someone's spirits on a tough day. Your positivity and kind heart ensured a welcoming atmosphere that made everyone feel valued and motivated and free to be themselves. Thank you for all you did this season. You are going to be greatly missed. Anna Bennett. Ms. Hope Schmelsley. Hope played all 27 games this season as our starting center fielder. It took you a few games to kind of catch your groove, but once you did, you were a major contributor offensively and defensively. Over the last 4 years, you have compiled a .328 batting average with 65 hits, 45 singles, 13 doubles, 5 triples, and 2 home runs, as well as 64 RBIs and 19 stolen bases. Hope I remember you being in my art fundamentals class your freshman year, before I started coaching. You would come into my classroom talking about the games, about your failures and successes throughout the season. You were so excited to just be on the varsity team. You also shared with me your goal of wanting to be a starting center fielder. Do you remember that? Okay. Well, you did. You played 14 games your freshman year, 23 your sophomore year, 23 your junior year, and 27 this year. You accomplished your goal of being a starting center fielder, but also so much more. Most importantly, you've provided positive, encouraging leadership for this program. You have been such a pivotal part of this program's success, and you are already so deeply missed. Congratulations on being voted onto the all-conference team, first team all-district, and second team all-region. Hope Schmelsley. Now for our juniors. First one is Mariah Apt. This was Mariah's first year on varsity. She started 19 games in right field and as a pinch runner. She went 5 for 35 at the plate with 3 singles, 2 doubles, and 2 RBIs. Mariah, you did such a great job stepping up during the first half of the season and being a leader on the field and at the plate. You provided us with stability and consistency when we were searching for it the most. I'm really looking forward to all the things you're going to accomplish your senior year. Mariah. Alyssa Cook. Cook started 27 games for us this season, including 6 games on the mound and 21 at second base. She was 5 for 6 on the mound with 29 strikeouts. At second base, she had 48 chances, committing only 5 errors for a .496 fielding percentage. At the plate, she hit .236 with 17 hits, 16 singles, 2 doubles, and 19 RBIs. Cook, at the very first tournament of the season, I had a very honest conversation with you. Do you remember this? We talked about how we needed you to step up and find a way to provide relief for us on the mound this season, and you 100% answered that call. There's one particular moment that really stands out to me this season because I think it's when I feel like your confidence became most evident, and it was the game against Chester. Kind of later in the season, I was planning on splitting up the games a little bit more and using more of a pitching staff versus just a starting pitcher. My plan was to have Greer throw 3 innings, and then Cook was going to come in and throw 2 innings, and then one of the other pitchers was going to finish the game. And I told the pitchers this plan before the game started. After Greer threw her first 3 innings, you came in and threw your 2 innings, and after you got that 3rd out, you came straight to me and you're like, can I have the ball for the rest of the game? You were so confident, and for me, that was such a cool moment. I think that as a teacher and as a coach, seeing that aha moment and being able to see in their eyes when things really start clicking is so rewarding. Cook, your versatility between the mound and second base this season has provided us with stability. I have no doubt that your senior season will have many more moments of your confidence shining through, and I look forward to seeing every single one of them next season. Alyssa Cook. Ava Greer. Ava started 25 games for us this season, 17 on the mound and the rest at first base. She threw a total of 98 innings this season, going 10-5 on the mound, which ties for third place for most wins in the record book. She struck out 163 hitters, which is a little over 1 2/3 hitters per inning, re-breaking her strikeout record from last season. She had an ERA of 3.14, holding opponents to a .272 batting average. More impressive than that is the amount of work she did in the off-season to earn a spot in the hitting lineup. This season, Ava hit .361 with 22 hits, 12 singles, 6 doubles, and 2 triples. So fast. Which is tied for 4th in the record book. And 2 home runs and 23 RBIs. Ava, you never back down from a challenge. You consistently display resilience and toughness that inspires everyone around you. Your tenacity and toughness is matched only by your infectious laughter and personality. After an incredible record-breaking sophomore season, I didn't think it was possible for you to top yourself, but I was wrong. You rebroke your own single-season strikeout records, doing it in 13 less innings. Which is pretty cool. Ava, there's 2 highlights that really stand out to me this season. One was your game-winning home run against Kennett, who's playing for the state championship tomorrow, and we beat them. Just saying. So that was a really electric moment. And then the other one was the home run in the final season of the game. And in the craziness of the game, there's something that you didn't get, but you deserve to put on your trophy case. It's your home run ball signed by your teammates. I hope every time you look at it, it reminds you how tough, resilient, and wonderful you are. Congratulations on being voted All-Conference, First Team All-District, First Team All-Region, and nominated for All-State. Ava Greer. Ava played in 22 games this season. She batted .364 with 24 hits, 17 RBIs, 23 runs scored, and 8 stolen bases. In 66 at-bats, she only struck out once, which is really impressive. She also reached a milestone of 100 career hits in her last game of the season, and she's just a junior. Ava, I want to take a moment to acknowledge your incredible resilience and grit throughout this challenging season. Battling injuries is never easy, but you have faced each setback with grace and patience, and you set a remarkable example for what perseverance looks like. Your peers and coaches across the MAAA in Districts 1 and 2 hold you to high esteem. You have earned the respect through your commitment to being your very best every single day. I'm incredibly proud of all you have accomplished in these 3 short years. I don't think I'm alone in saying we're very much looking forward to what you accomplish your senior year. Ava, congratulations on being voted All-Conference, First Team All-District, First Team All-Region, and nominated for All-State. Ava Hoover. Jolie Parker. Jo played in 22 games this season, all of them at third base. She hit .224 with 15 hits, 15 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases. Jolie, your incredible work ethic sets a high standard for everyone around you. You know how to handle setbacks with laughter and grace. You always bounce back with a smile on your face. Your positive energy and fun spirit make every practice and game more enjoyable. You came into my classroom 2 years ago and tried to quit softball. I'm glad you took a chance and decided to keep playing, and I can't wait to see what you accomplish in your last season. Jolie Parker. Chloe Staffing. Chloe played in all 27 games this season, 19 games catching behind the plate. She must have a screw loose. And 8 games on the infield. She's such a versatile player. This season, she raised her batting average 76 points from last year's batting average. She hit .486, which puts her in fourth best batting average in program history. She had 36 hits, which is tied for 4th best, 22 singles, 11 doubles, which is tied for 4th best in program history, 3 home runs. She also had 30 RBIs, which is tied for 3rd most in program history. But equally important was Chloe's role behind the plate. With 219 chances, she only committed 3 errors for a .986 fielding percentage. Chloe, this is such a wonderful season for you. Whether it was making a critical defensive play or stepping up with a clutch hit, you're someone your teammates and coaches can always count on. Your calm demeanor gives you the ability to handle the game's most intense moments without faltering. Your dependable presence and skill set make you an invaluable asset to the team. As you get ready to enter your senior year, we are excited to see the incredible achievements you will undoubtedly accomplish. Your leadership and talent promise a memorable and impactful senior season. Chloe, congratulations on being nominated All-Conference Team, First Team All-District, and Second Team All-Region. Chloe Stafford. Autumn Werner. Autumn started 24 games for us this season. She hit .295 on the season, but I think she had a bit of a slow start, so I went and kind of changed the parameters, and I looked at the last 10 games of the season. So that would have been from conference tournament on, and she hit .440 in the last 10 games of the season. She really worked hard to change her mindset at the plate and took control of her at-bats, and her hard work showed. She had 18 hits, 12 RBIs, 24 stolen bases, not 24 stolen bases, 24 runs scored, and 2 stolen bases. Autumn, you're the team's comedic relief. You're always ready with a funny one-liner to keep Coach Stupi on his toes. In the outfield, your unpredictable antics left his coaching staff guessing if you were really paying attention to the game. But you never missed a crucial play when it mattered most. You made great steps in conquering the mental aspect of the game this season. You showed remarkable composure under pressure in the second half of the season. Except you weren't super composed when you were passionately screaming at the umpires from left field. Luckily, only Hope could hear you. Autumn, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what you accomplish during your senior season. Autumn Warner. Now for our sophomores, Bree Foff. And some of these are going to be repeats that we've talked about for JV already, but again, they played both JV and varsity. Bree played in 24 games this season as an outfielder, pitcher, and courtesy pinch runner. She hit .281, but again, she's another player that really progressed towards the end of the season. So in the last 10 games of the season, she hit .360. She had 9 hits, 7 RBIs, and 7 stolen bases. Bree, you started off the season with sickness, then you battled an injury, and then when you finally recovered, you stepped up during the second half of the season, both offensively and defensively. You developed a really calm confidence at the plate, and I feel like you grew tremendously. I'm excited to see even more growth over the next 2 seasons. Bree Fopp. Alyssa Beckerman. Alyssa, I know it was really difficult for you to watch from the sidelines this season. Watching from the bench when all you want to do is play can be incredibly frustrating and disheartening. But I want you to know that your presence was still very much felt and appreciated this season. You've shown incredible strength and resilience during this time, and that is something to be truly proud of. Life has a way of throwing you curveballs when you least expect it. This injury, as tough as it has been, offers a more important lesson about patience and perseverance. Sometimes the challenges we face off the field are just as important as the one we face on it. They teach us to dig deep to find new ways to contribute, and just like I said at the beginning, you learn to appreciate the journey. Learning that it's important to lean on the shoulders of your teammates because they're not just there for comfort, but also a source of strength. Alyssa, you're going to come back from this on the other side of this injury stronger than ever, and I can't wait for you to pick up where you left off your freshman season. Alyssa Beckerman. Lindley Wiener. Lindley played in 26 varsity games this season, 6 games in the outfield, and the rest as a courtesy pitch runner. Lindley, I want to express to you how proud of you I am of the progress you made over the past year. Your quiet confidence and unwavering sense of self are admirable. You consistently bring a positive attitude and a smile to every practice and game, which uplifts the whole team. I'm excited to see even more growth and success from you over the next 2 seasons. Lindley Wiener. Kennedy Bowen. Kennedy played the majority of the season at the JV level, but she was with the varsity team all season. She played 2 varsity games at third base. To an outsider, it sounds like Kennedy probably didn't have a large role on the team this season, but I would argue the complete opposite. I would argue that Kennedy's role was just as important as her starting pitcher. Kennedy, you are a constant cheerleader for all your teammates. Your energy was infectious. Oftentimes, you were the loudest and most encouraging voice in the dugout. You were always in the game and always had a smile on your face. You were ready and willing to do whatever was asked of you and always asked questions and showed a desire to learn and get better. You demonstrated your unwavering commitment to this team and the program. Your positive attitude is the definition of a team-first mentality. I wish all coaches could have a Kennedy on their team. You're just a joy to be around, and you're so selfless. With that being said, you have shown so much growth throughout the season, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you accomplish over the next 3 years. Kennedy Bowen. Lillian Crossland. Lillian was originally asked JV team, but after the first 2 or 3 injuries early in the season, I asked her to move up to be on the varsity team. Lily played in 6 varsity games in the outfield, and she has a perfect 1,000% batting average with 1 at bat and 1 hit, 2 RBIs and 2 stolen bases. Lily, you showed a desire to learn as much as possible this season. Your hard work paid off, and your improvement. I lost my spot. You're another amazing example of a completely selfless player and teammate. You always put the team first. You inspire your teammates by showing that leadership and support off the field were just as crucial as on the field performance. Lillian Crossland. Bella Watkins. Bella played in 15 varsity games this season, most of them behind the plate. She had a .296 batting average with 8 hits and 7 RBIs. Bella, you did a tremendous job for us this season. From the very first day of winter workouts, you showed a desire to learn and be the best that you could be every single day. You came in and earned your spot on the team and into the lineup. You exude confidence and have a positive personality. I cannot wait to see you continue to develop over the next 3 years and to see what you can accomplish. Bella Watkins. Olivia Beckerman. Olivia played in 22 games this season. At the start of the season, I saw her in more of a DP role, but after her sister Alyssa got hurt, she stepped in and didn't skip a beat. She played mostly first base for us this season. Liv hit .370 on the season with 20 hits and 20 RBIs. And Liv, before the end of next season, I promise we're going to get you that stolen base. Liv, you've been a sponge all season. You ask questions and think about the game on a deeper level. You set goals for yourself and you work hard to achieve them. This season, you have proven yourself as one of the top infielders in the MAAA. Liv, congratulations on being voted all-conference team and second team all-district. Olivia Beckerman. And last but not least, Graceburg. Grace played in 13 varsity games this season, and all 13 of those games were on the infield, splitting games between second base when Cook was pitching and shortstop when Hoover got hurt. She hit .267, going 4 for 15 at the plate, with 2 RBIs, 9 runs scored, and 5 stolen bases. Grace, when the season started, my plan for you is to be mainly a courtesy pinch runner, but unfortunately your injury down in Arkansas sidelined you for a couple weeks. But it was during this challenging period that you truly learned to embrace being a role and team player. You used your time off the field to learn more about the game and to support your teammates. Once you finally recovered, you showed your versatility and stepped up to fill multiple roles, excelling at shortstop, second base, and once again as a pinch runner. Although you're a freshman, your adaptability and commitment to continually getting better every day shows an upperclassman maturity. The amount of growth you've made from the beginning of the season until the end did not go unnoticed by your coaches, teammates, and fans. Keep up the hard work and you're going to do big things the next 3 years. Grace Bird. That's your 2024 Dragon softball team. Okay, so I do have some other awards to give out. The first of them is Academic All-State. We had 10 girls that met the qualifications to be Academic All-State, which is a cumulative GPA of 3.7 or higher. Congratulations to Mariah Apt, Kennedy Bowen, Lillian Crossland, Ava Greer, Jolie Parker, Bree Foff, Hope Schmelsley, Chloe Staffen, Lindley Wiener, and Autumn Warner. Okay, we also also met the qualifications for academic team All-State. To qualify for team All-State, you have to have a team GPA of 3.3 or higher. And I'm really proud to say that we don't have a single player that is below a 3.0 GPA. So our team GPA is 3.63. So we qualify for team All-State as well. And if I remember correctly from, they send out like the top 10 GPAs in the state, that will put us easily in the top 5 in the state. So that's really exciting. Then we had some team voted awards. The first is Offensive MVP. 4 different players received votes for this award, but the winner is Chloe Staffen. Okay, we did a team voted defensive MVP and then a coach voted defensive MVP. Team voted goes to Ava Huber. And the coach voted defensive MVP was Ava Greer. Okay, the next award is Rookie of the Year. This person received 83% of the votes, and now she's going to be tied with her sister. Congratulations, Olivia Beckerman. Okay, the next one is the Heart and Hustle Award. This award goes to the player that sets a positive example for their teammates. This person embodies the values, spirit, energy, and traditions of being a dragon. 6 different players received votes for this award, but the winner is Ava Greer. Next is Team Leader. Leadership and team building have been a large focus for me in this program. Without great team leaders and players that truly believe in the program's vision, it's hard to be successful. 3 different players received votes for this leadership award. She's the winner for the 3rd year in a row, Hope Schmelsley. Okay, we also did a most improved. We did a team voted and a coach voted. I told the girls that this could be someone who was most improved from last season to this season, or someone that was most improved from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. 8 different players received votes for this award, and I think that just shows how much growth and improvement each one of these girls has made this season. But the winner is Grace Bird. Okay, and then the coach voted most improved goes to Autumn Werner. Girls, I hope that I've grown your love for the game and that I've made an impact on all of you like you continue to do for me year after year. The SGHS softball program is bitter because every single one of you were a part of it. Seniors, we're going to miss you dearly. Come back and see us and don't be a stranger. Returners, I've heard rumblings about how fired you up for next season, and I am here for it. I am excited too. I'm already ready for next season to start. The future of Dragon softball is bright. Thank you.
If you were an award winner tonight, or if you were all conference, all district, all region baseball, we can't announce that yet. Don't know some of it yet either. Have to wait until, you may have said this already, I don't know. Have to wait until West County and Park Hill is in their season before we can release any of that. But since softball is to that point in their season, they were able to release that. So if you were all conference, all district, all region, stick around and we'll get a picture of that or an award winner tonight, okay? 50-50. We had quite a few tickets sold for all three, meaning the two banners and the 50-50. So a good night as far as that is concerned. Ooh, the money's in here too. So 50-50 winner will get $20, $40, $60, $70. Bring your ticket with you after we're done here. That way you don't have to do it up in front of everybody and they get jumped in the parking lot. Okay, actually, yeah, one of these days I'm gonna bring my glasses. 364. Does that say 3519? Give it to the wrong one. 3519?
364, 3519.
See, it's not that easy.
No, are we sure? It's not blurry, it's not all the way through.
Great controversy on the 50-50. Just hand it to Cody. See what he says.
Watch them now.
3513. Sit down, Eli. All right. If you want, bring it up, bring your ticket up. One more time, what are those numbers?
Red ticket.
364 3513. All right. That took way too long. All right. Softball banner. If I pull your name, grab the banner on your way out. If I don't grab the banner on your way out. Man, there's a lot in here. That's awesome. Autumn Warner. Jolie found that funny. Baseball banner. Grant Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming tonight. Have a good evening. Stick around if I need a picture.